I think each of us should just go what has happened in their training camp this week. Go ahead, Ace.
So for me, it wasn't much. The Bengals had a scrimmage with Joe Burrow's second scrimmage. This one took place at Paul Brown Stadium. Was a pretty solid scrimmage. It was kind of weird because a lot of the scoring stuff was kind of unique. But apparently Joe Burrow, I think, had at least one touchdown to Tyler Boyd. There was one that was supposedly the second one, but they ruled it a sack or something like that. He's been showing some promise. He did come down to earth a little bit in this one, but he still had a good showing. One thing that really impressed me was when they really needed to get the first down, he was able to call out and restructure a play to cause the running back to actually pick up a block that was key on that play for him to convert a first down. So that confirmed that he does have the ability to call out of plays, and it just really has continued for us. And I think this Thursday we're expecting to see more of a game-like scrimmage that's going to be set up. John Ross apparently is just always hurt. John Ross just hurt his elbow again, so he was out the
last. Did he really?
Week. Yes. He hurt his elbow in the practice. It seems that he's hyperextended his elbow. So we'll see if he plays Thursday. He suited up for the scrimmage, but he didn't play. AJ set out the scrimmage, so we're hoping to get everyone healthy and run another scrimmage before the season kicks off. But that's how things kind of went for us this week.
I have a question real quick on the Bengals because with John Ross going down, who would be the opening day starter on the other side from AJ Green? Would it be would Auden Tate get some playing time?
I think it's a toss-up between Auden Tate. I think Auden Tate definitely gets playing time, but I think it's a toss-up between him and T. Higgins. T. Higgins actually came in and got some work in, but I would probably say being that Auden Tate and Joe Burrow have more chemistry at this point, it actually might be Auden Tate with T. Higgins kind of rotated in at that second receiver spot.
Okay. And then one more thing for Ace real quick. How nervous are you about week one? Like you guys, Bengals fans all off season have, they built up this Joe Burrow thing to sky high. Right. How nervous are you about week one though?
I think at first when I really looked at this situation, to be honest with you, I wasn't nervous because I was wondering what the Chargers were going to do at the quarterback position. So for me, I was kind of expecting them to not have Tyrod in there and throw the other rookie, Justin Herbert, in there. And so I was going to say, we're in the same situation. Justin Herbert, to me, isn't as good as Joe Burrow, so we might have an edge. But obviously, I'm terrified of Joey Bosa and Ingram coming off of that edge. But I think what also put my mind at ease is they're not going to have Derwin James. They're also not going to have Mike Williams, it seems.
Right.
That gives me some confidence in going into that game, but I'm still terrified and having nightmares of Joey Bosa blowing Bobby Hart off the edge and just destroying Burrow. So
I always forget about Bobby Hart until you
quick throws, get that ball out of there.
Cute.
Yeah, so Browns camp has actually been pretty it's been eventful and like there's stuff happening. You can actually see it happening. They're not really one of the more secretive organizations out there. They're pretty much a snake fair. They know what they know what they're going to be expected to do, and they know what they have to do. So it's been eventful in that aspect. When it comes to anything interesting, not a lot interesting. Like you had the injuries early on in camp, but I think they're poised to kind of recover from that as best as they can. Mack Wilson is out, but the guy they drafted in the third round before Mack Wilson that year to be a stand-up linebacker, Sione Takitaki's had an excellent camp. He's been covering, and he's been able to be in the box as a run stuffer, which is what he was originally meant to do. So he's actually been pretty good. And then with Grant Delpit, Tadeo's been holding up there pretty fine there, and Cedric Redwine's a more than serviceable backup in that role. So I don't think there's going to be any room to panic on there. I do worry about the defense. The defense has issues. BJ Goodson was not there at the scrimmage, and it looked like there were all kind of communication issues. And I like BJ Goodson. I don't know if him not being there is an excuse for the defense not to look good. He's not that good. But there are interesting things happening. A lot of people, whenever they hear Browns camp, they're like, hey, what about Baker? Is Baker looking bad? Are you worried about Baker? I'm least worried about Baker in this offense. I think they're going to be fine. They're running the ball really well. Kareem Hunt looks excellent. He looks really good. He did not look this good last year. He looks like he has that burst back. He looks like he has that acceleration back. It's going to be a heck of a combo to stop, honestly. Him and Chubb. I don't know who's going to be able to just shut that down, but we'll see when the season starts. And Odell Beckham has also been excellent. He makes these routine plays that are just amazing when you see somebody else do them. But you kind of just look at him and go, oh, yeah, that's Odell. That's what he's been doing all camp. He's been excellent. He's looked like, 2016 Odell rather than 2018 Odell, which is a nice thing to see. Jarvis has looked fantastic after the hip surgery that's been bugging him for the last 2 years. I think the offense is going to be fine. Like, they're going to have to run the ball a lot to figure it out early in the season. But other than that, like, people worried about Baker Mayfield, I think as long as he stays in rhythm, he'll be fine. Like, I'm not really that worried about him. He looks fine in camp. The only thing I'm worried about with this defense is the solution in the middle and stopping the inside run. But that's been my issue about the defense since the season ended last year, and they really didn't do much to address that other than sign Billings, who unfortunately opted out for good reason. And now they're kind of stuck back where they started at that hole. But I think the Browns in a good spot. They're fine. It doesn't look like a disaster. It doesn't look like they're completely struggling to run the offense or get that installed. They look better than they did last year at this point when it comes to offensive installation. So, it's an uneventful camp, but that's exactly what the Browns needed this offseason, because last year's camp was eventful and, they pooped the bed the first game. So,
hey guys, before we toss it to Tony, can you just give me a quick second and hit that like button? That helps us so much. You guys don't even know. We have between 55 to 60 people watching the show. Just a quick like, if you can. Go ahead, Tony.
Steelers camp. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's Fort Knox, so I mean, I got nothing. Actually, I will say this: they threw us a little bone this week. All right, you want to watch practice a little bit? Fine, you can watch practice a little bit. We're doing our scrimmage. Everybody's doing their scrimmages this week. So, they zoomed it in so you can see one player at a time. If they zoom, I could almost see two, but it was only one player at a time. You can barely even tell what was happening on the play. It was zoomed in so much. In fact, there was one play where even the writers got it wrong, where they were saying it was a wide receiver screen to Juju, and Hayden blew him up, when very clearly Juju was blocking Hayden, and Hayden blew him up, but it was wide receiver screen to another player who they were then tackling later on, but you couldn't tell because, again, it was so freaking zoomed in. The one thing I'll say about that scrimmage, Ben didn't really play a lot. You guys will find this funny. This was the time when they wanted to give Mason Rudolph his time, right? Because look, preseason is very big for their young quarterbacks, right? Our young and developing guys, we got to give them their preseason time. So Ben got like 2 series in the scrimmage, and the rest of it was all Mason and Duck. Yeah, great. So that happened
out there. Just like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could, as zoomed in as that, I could still tell Mason was doing bad. Even as zoomed in as they were like, that was an inaccurate ball. There was another open guy. Even though I couldn't see anything, I just knew the other guy was more open than the receiver he threw to. What else? Oh, David DeCastro went down with an injury this week after coming back from an injury. So we'll see. Tomlin said in his press conference that it doesn't sound like it's anything at all. He's saying, maybe day to day or, be back for the regular season. But boy, concerning when a guy sits out the majority of camp, and he's a veteran, so it's likely just like a lingering thing that they wanted to make sure it didn't become any worse. But then they let him back to practice, and he gets hurt again the very same day. That's a little concerning for me. Otherwise, though, yeah, I mean, it's, Steelers camp is it's nothing.
I will say the Ravens camp is very similar to Steelers. I had criticized them in my live stream because they show me, they say, oh, we're live streaming the camp. And all they show you is players stretching, players either jug machines or blanking on the name of the machine for the D lineman that they're pushing on.
Yeah.
That's literally all they're showing you. And then they show you maybe a one-on-one drill for like a minute and a half. Yeah. That's it. So all I can tell you is what I hear. Yeah, so now they're the only thing that will say that they do better than Steelers is, Tony, you were saying that they were checking the notes for the Steelers. They're not doing that for the reporters. The reporters can just report on whatever. Reporters
I'm not sure if that's true. That's just what I heard. So I don't want to report that as fact.
So Deshaun Jackson's looking pretty good. So that was obviously a big thing. So obviously all reporters go there to see how Deshaun Elliott is doing. They're saying that he's looking pretty good. The scrimmage they had, the defense looked fantastic. The offense actually struggled against the defense for a little bit. And then other than that, the only injury we had was Matabuki actually left the practice. They said it's not serious, but I haven't seen if he came back. And
you have to let me know.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happens with it. And,
listen.
You're
breaking Quincy's heart right now.
There's a battle for third string quarterback, which is between McSorley and Huntley. Right now, that's pretty much it in Ravens camp.
Wait, McSorley plays corner, right?
No.
I'm kidding.
No. I know pre-draft people are saying that he played corner. No. So other than that, I mean, they said the receivers are looking fairly good. The big buzz is Dobbins, man. Dobbins has been the buzz. They said
I took him in fantasy, so he better come through.
They saying the dude is killing it. They say that he looks fantastic, Dobbins, and they also like Queens, but I will say the biggest buzz right now is Dobbins.